at the Garden. Let's go to MSG. Celtics visiting the Knicks. Jason Tatum returning to Madison Square Garden for the first time since his Achilles injury in the playoffs last season. We're going to skip to the third quarter where Peyton Pritchard finds Jason Tatum, who hits a three in the corner. Celtics got the lead to 10. Then, this guy, Peyton Pritchard, was on fire in this one. Pritchard cuts the lead to 3, and then the Knicks here are up 1, and watch who does it again. Pritchard from deep. Celtics take the lead late in the third quarter. Jalen Brunson wouldn't go away. Brunson leans in, goes into Baylor Shireman, and hits that jumper. The game is tied. And I mentioned that name, Baylor Shireman, because he didn't miss last night. He was absolutely incredible and kept the Celtics in this one late. We go early fourth quarter. Watch Tatum. Remember, the Achilles injury was so devastating last year in the playoffs. He would score 24 last night as the Celtics took a 7-point lead after that made free throw. But down 2, it's Towns from way deep, then wide open 3. But who is that? 55, get used to it. Baylor Shireman again, 6 for 7 from 3. Knicks down 1, Hart. Knicks up 1. 48 seconds left. Look at the score. The Knicks are up 2. Who do you go to for the three-point shot? Don't expect it, but it's Josh Hart, and then he wasn't done. One more. Nail in the coffin. Josh Hart with the deep 3. It was the Josh Hart game. Our guy, Alan Hahn, caught up with him after a 26-point performance.
You've always talked about how when teams are going to leave you open, you have to make them pay. Is this something you've just been working on all season?
Yeah, Joe and Pete, I've been working with them shooting every day. The first half I was ass. So I had, the second half I knew I had to bring it.
All right, well, this is the last game of the regular season against Boston. Do you expect to see them again this season?
Man, we'll see, man. That's a good team, well coached. We always have battles, so we'll see.
I love that answer by Hart. If you didn't catch it, rewind it. Last night was the Knicks' 52nd win this season. Those 52 victories for head coach Mike Brown are the most by a Knicks coach in their first season with the franchise. That's more than what Pat Riley did in that 91-92 season. We bring in Brian Windhorst, and we've got Tim and Vince here. Windy, we start with you. Your biggest takeaway from last night's Knicks victory over the Celtics?
Well, this was a high-quality win. The Celtics were coming at them full blast in the second half. And if you're looking for a reason why the Knicks can make a playoff run, it's because of what they can do in clutch situations. I know you saw Hart and Towns finishing those plays, but it was Brunson who orchestrated it all. And defensively, they were able to get stops on Jason Tatum down the stretch. He did not score at all in the last 8 minutes, had several fourth-quarter turnovers. The Knicks can look you squarely in the eye and say, we can beat the Celtics. They are now 3-1 against them this season, and this win puts them basically in pole position to get the number 3 seed and be on the same side of the bracket as the Celtics in the playoffs. Boston can look back and say, none of those wins happened with both Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown on the court, but potentially we could see another terrific series here, assuming the teams take care of their business between now and the second round.
That's a big point. Jaylen Brown did not play in the game last night. Both of you were in the building, in the Garden. You were in the locker room afterwards. Vince, what did you learn from this game last night?
The lack of excitement from the Knicks locker room. They expected to win last night. I think we look at this from the outside as if the Knicks should have a fear factor of the Celtics for those very reasons, that Tatum and Brown, you haven't seen them together. But the Knicks did beat this team last year in the postseason, and because of Tatum's injury, it kind of clouded the victory. But the Knicks were up 3-1 in that series. They had 2 comeback victories, and they've taken 3 out of 4. Like you said, the Knicks can close. They can close with Brunson. They can close with Towns on the glass. They can close with Mitchell Robinson on the glass. They have more ways to actually beat you when they play their A game, maybe either than the Celtics do. They held Jason Tatum to 7 of 22. He was minus 16. That was kind of shrouded into him coming back from the first game since his Achilles injury, but they held him in check, and I think that gives them an extra level of confidence, or at least it should.
Tim, yesterday we were previewing this game, and we were like, well, what version of Cat are we going to get? How's Cat going to perform? Karl-Anthony Towns was big down the stretch in this one.
Yeah, I mean, all year long, what have you as a Knicks fan and the other Knicks fans been waiting for? They've been waiting to see Karl Towns and Jalen Brunson really work well together, right? Last night was the most on-ball screens and handoffs they've done together this season, basically the most actions they've done together, most points they've scored together this season. That is the formula the Knicks are going to need to make a deep playoff run. Jalen Brunson and Karl Towns powering an elite offense. Those guys, as we know, they're not great defensive players, but they're two of the best offensive players in the league. When they're working like that, the Knicks have a chance. And by the way, we haven't really talked about Josh Hart. This year, when Josh Hart's been guarded by a center, the Knicks offense has been a top 5 offense in the league. That's been a huge difference maker for them. That's what's going to happen in the playoffs. It's what happened last night. What did Josh Hart do? He hit those 2 big threes down the stretch. That is the formula. Last night's win, that's what the Knicks need to do if they're going to make the deep playoff run they want to.
Windy, before we ask another question, I want to go to the Celtics side of it. No Jaylen Brown, obviously. Shireman goes 6 for 7 from 3. What do you take of it from the Celtics side? Because they were trying to win that game.
Yeah, so Jaylen Brown took the game off to rest. Jason Tatum could have taken the game off to rest, but he actively wanted to get past the demons of coming back to the MSG court. The Celtics have done a great job developing their role players throughout the season. Shireman is another example of it. Really, the central question about the Celtics and whether they can win the East is, can those role players like Baylor Shireman, like Hugo Gonzalez, like Nikola Vucevic deliver in big moments like this in the playoffs? I suspect they walked away from last night's game not feeling too bad about themselves. Tatum handled the situations, got over the emotions. Shireman can rely on that performance when he's asked to do something like that again in the next couple of weeks.
Tim, what's your talk on it?
Yeah, I mean, like Vince said after the game, the Knicks were not really unbothered by that game in a positive way. The Celtics were not in a negative sense, right? The goal last night was to get Jason Tatum back at Madison Square Garden and feeling good. Because with that win last night, it really does set up a very likely matchup in the second round between the Knicks and the Celtics, the series where Jason Tatum got hurt last year. To get that out of the way last night, to not have it be in the conference semifinals, I think was a huge thing for Boston. And yeah, it's going to come down to these role players on both sides. Can Josh Hart hit these shots like he did last night? Can Karl Towns and Jalen Brunson play like they did? If they can, Knicks can beat them.
You mentioned that the Knicks did win that series. They were also down 20 in 2 games on the road and found a way to win, and then Tatum goes down with the Achilles. Right now, vibe check. Who do you think has more juju going into the playoffs, those 2 teams?
I think the Celtics have more juju because they feel like because they have Jason Tatum back there now at full Voltron. But the Knicks, discovering Towns and Brunson operating together, I think that gives them a measure of confidence because we've been asking for that for the last 2 years. When are these guys going to connect? When are they going to display some chemistry? And the Knicks are built in a way to beat the Celtics that they are not built to beat Detroit or any other team. When you got the wings of Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and
Josh Hart.
You can defend. You can defend Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and feel easy about it.
They were a team built to beat the Celtics.
Exactly.
And that's why they went and got these wings. And it was, again, it's fascinating. These are the 2 best games, the last 2 games against Atlanta and Boston, that Jalen Brunson and Karl Towns have played all season. Again, that has to be the formula for the Knicks. Those guys killing it on offense.
And big in the 4th quarter, closing it out. Less than 2 weeks to go to the NFL draft. Let's go. It's time for a fired up Friday. How about that chime music, folks? That doesn't get you excited. I don't know what does. We've got Kevin